Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and it is Monday, January 27th, 2024. Beautiful day here at Polderbaan. Bit of wind and we have the entire quad squad coming in. That's the A340, Boeing 747 and the A380. They're all coming. Marja, goedenavond. And welcome to all others who have joined us in the meantime. Let's start out by having a look at the map. SLM flight 994, the A340-600 from Suriname is coming. It is expected in 25 minutes from now and it is flying over the North Sea, headed out to the Netherlands. Looking a bit further to the west, we have the Kuehne & Nagel 747-8, which is expected in 50 minutes from now, flying over the southwest tip of England. We have Singapore Airlines, which is now looking to land on Polderbaan because its ETA has increased to a later date, later time, 11:46, which is good. It was earlier first, but now it looks like it is going to arrive when there's only one runway in place for arrivals. That runway is expected to be the Polderbaan. We also have Saudia flying in the vicinity of Athens. Well, no, not really, but over Greece. 12:09, its ETA expected to land here on the Polderbaan. And lastly, we have the Emirates A380. It's expected 12:10, so around the same time as Saudia. Maybe we are lucky and are going to get a back-to-back landing. Maybe not. This is what the wind has been doing. Sometimes a little bit higher, gusts up to 30 knots. Now, last couple of meters, it has been 18 knots. There's still a bit of wind. There is some rain in the vicinity of the Netherlands, but for now, it looks like for the upcoming hours, it is going to stay dry. So, yeah, looking forward to the A340, the first of the quad squad, coming in pretty soon. Let me first put on my gloves and then go to the camera and let's get it on. It's a bit windy. I've got image stabilizer enabled just so that the footage is a little bit more smooth and not so shuddery. Current overview. The sun is out, although now temporarily behind some high clouds. This is where we need to look to see where the wind is coming from. It's looking mostly blue. So, all in all, a nice day here. Wind on the scale, chimney smoke. As Lufthansa has just arrived. Currently looks like so. Let's quickly turn back. We have Delta Airlines Flight 56 as our next airplane coming in. Glide slope visibility is good. We have Delta Airlines on the right and Delta Airlines on the left. On the right we have Delta Airlines Flight 56 and A330-300 arriving from Salt Lake City. On the left we have Delta Airlines Flight 90 arriving from Orlando, Florida. That's an A330neo. We also have KLM Flight 870 flying north of Purmerend Base. You can see the airplane is crabbing a little bit. Even though most of the wind is headwind, it is still a bit crosswindy and it's definitely not calm, although it's also not stormy. A very good morning to everybody who has joined. A lot of viewers already in the chat. I can see Tim, Richard, Claudie, Martin, Mirijn, Andrew, Henk, Marion, Pieter, Roadhog, Gratje, Danny, Dave, A010. Good morning one and all. Delta Airlines Flight 56, the first landing of today's show, arriving from Salt Lake City. 9 hours and 36 minutes underway. 18 years old, first flight November 2006. Indeed, Midvi, no fog. Just a bit of wind, but that's a perfect combination. Sunshine and wind, good visibility on the glide slope. Keep it coming. Michel, goedemorgen. Willem Jelle, goedemorgen. Phil, good morning. Jack, goedemorgen. Henk, goedemorgen. Marissa, goedemorgen. Leuk je weer te zien. Tom, goedemorgen. So for those of you joining us just now, it is a bit of a windy day here at Schiphol Airport, but visibility is good. We are hoping, I'm hoping it's going to stay dry. I think it will. And the full quad squad is coming in all before noon. We have, if I counted correctly, 3 747s coming in, including the Kühne and Nagel. And we have the A380 and the A340 is going to be the first quad squad member coming in a half an hour or so, or 20 minutes. What was it, 10:10 or something? It's ETA. It's already over the North Sea and it is coming. Hadi Lise, goedemorgen. Billy Pro, good morning. Infinite Mustafa, goedemorgen, good morning. Michael, goedemorgen. Martin, morgen. This is Delta Airlines Flight 90 arriving from Orlando, Florida. It's an A330 Neo, 7 hours and 53 minutes on the way, 5 years old, first flight September 2019. Nicholas, good morning. Nicholas says that it is confirmed that the A340 is going to land on 18 right. As expected, always nice to get confirmation. Ramon, good morning. Goedemorgen. Shifty, goedemorgen. Thomas, goedemorgen. Welcome one and all, you're watching Amos Live. My name is Boy. I'm standing here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Good glide slope visibility, bit of crosswind, and the entire quad squad coming in. That's the A340 coming in first, 3 747s plus the A380, all expected before 12:15 approximately. With one of the 747s and the A380 expected simultaneously, more or less. So maybe, just maybe, we might get a back-to-back quad squad glide slope shot. Wouldn't that be something? Mother of all glide slope shots, the king and the queen in one shot. This is EasyJet. It's an A320 Neo coming in from Birmingham. Left there 48 minutes ago. Brand new airplane, meaning less than a year old, hailing from April last year. Uffel 80, guten Morgen. Horea, or Horea, good morning. Flores, goedemorgen kerel. Billy Pro, goedemorgen. Martin R, goedemorgen. Decomi M, good morning. Michael, morning. Tati, goedemorgen. So, if you joined us just now, welcome to the show. Beautiful day here at Schiphol Airport. More wind than yesterday. Crosswindy conditions, the wind is blowing from over there, more or less. The entire quad squad is coming in. A good reason to go out here today. The A340 will be coming in first. We have 3 747s and the A380 all expected before 12:15 or so local time, which you can find in the bottom left corner of your screen if you did not see it already. Finnair is coming in, flight 1301, that's the next airplane. Arriving from bloody Helsinki, it's an A321, 2 hours 26 minutes on the way. The airplane behind it is KLM flight 870, that is a 777-200 arriving from Delhi in India. Casper, goedemorgen. Howdy Remco, goedemorgen. Ah, Remco even saw me on January 9th and was seated in Swiss Air Flight 731. Awesome, mate, awesome. Had I known you were on board, we might have been able to film you if you shone the light. Next time, hit me up. Let me see if I can film your landing. We've done it before. You can see quite clearly into cockpits, and any person who might be shining their flashlight, their camera flashlight, we can pick it up quite easily. Alan, goedemorgen, good morning. Alan is tuning in from Gold Coast, so good evening to you then, sir. Eddie, good morning. Welcome one and all. Heavy hitters now coming. Well, Swiss in between, sandwiched in between two 777-200s. This is KLM flight 870 arriving from Delhi. KLM Asia, 8 hours 43 minutes underway. The airplane is 18 years old, first flight April 2006. The firefighters did already do their patrol round as I was setting up. So unfortunately we won't be seeing them anymore. At least not if everything goes normally over here. BQN, 18 years old. Swiss on the right. And KLM 777-200 arriving from Johannesburg on the left. Noticeably warmer than it was yesterday, 10 degrees C. My hand warmer is a bit warm. Let me throttle that down a little bit to a milder heat setting. Also throttle back the heated glove. What a luxury. Hey there, good morning, Alice at Aviation Dallas. Good morning, good to see you again. Made in Australia, good morning. Paul, good morning. So on the right we have Swiss flight 730, or I should say Helvetic Airways actually. It's an Embraer 190 long range, returning from Zurich. 1 hour and 10 minutes on the way. It's a 15-year-old airplane, the HBJVN. The airplane on the left, KLM flight 592, arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa. That's a 777-200, and the airplane that you see behind it is a Delta A330-300. That's flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. And behind it we are going to see a 787-10 Dreamliner from KLM returning from Cartagena in Colombia. So 3 consecutive heavies after this airplane has landed. If you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching Amos Live. My name is Boy and this is the Polderbaan runway 18 ride. At the moment the only runway in use for arrivals, and we're expecting the entire quad squad today. That is the A340-600, which will arrive first, 3 747s and 1 A380, all expected before 12:15 local time. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. First of the quad squad members is approaching. It is the A340-600, flying on behalf of Suriname. Greet, goedemorgen. Blackburst, goedemorgen. Alexander, good morning, goedemorgen. Welcome to everybody else who has joined. Three heavy hitters on the glide slope. KLM flight 592 on the far right, arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa. 10 hours 23 minutes, its journey today. 17-year-old airplane. Delta Airlines, flight 74 in the top left. And a bit behind it, below it, further to the left. That is the Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena. Hadi Clemencia, goedemorgen, good to see you again. Five heavies in a row, Infinite Mustafa says, so sit back and relax. You see an airplane passing overhead without a contrail. Happened to see it. Don't see any contrails elsewhere in the sky. Not a lot of humidity in the upper atmosphere, it seems like, or the upper atmosphere is relatively warm, but probably lack of humidity. Delta Airlines flight 74 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, A330-300, 7 hours and 44 minutes in the way. 7-year-old airplane, first flight March 2017. Martin, morgen. Ooh. Is the runway moist, you might wonder? Well, it was. Delta is cleaning up. Delta is cleaning up the runway nicely. Check it out. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. That's one clean runway. Nicholas says that the plane above could have been some class A330. I don't know what its livery looks like, so wouldn't be able to say, but Hadi Jackie, goedemorgen. It is an off-axis butt shot, Dark Cloud, not standing exactly in line with the first exit. Once again, standing on my spot I was at yesterday because the excavator is still in the way of where I normally would have been standing. That's okay. The sun is out and that is extremely pleasurable. In combination with warmer temperatures. Now, definitely am able to hear, oh, yeah. Something is passing overhead directly in my zenith. I think it has propellers. So that must be the Antonov then. Can quite clearly hear it. It isn't producing a contrail. It's now flying where my camera cannot reach, but once it has passed, I can show you. You can definitely hear it. Hey there, Ty, good morning. Misam, goedemorgen. Good morning. Now where is it? There it is. It's going to be quite a challenge to find it without it producing a contrail. think this is it. I think I saw it for a moment. Yeah, no. I was able to hear it, I was able to see it. But it was better visible when it was still on the other side of me. In the meantime, a massive big thank you to Made in Australia for 13 months of membership. Keep up the fun, Stream Boy. Made in Australia says, thank you so much for your support, mate. I will do my utmost best to keep the fun stream going. And thank you so much for your continued support, mate. Hope all is still good in the lounge. Let me know if something is no longer to your liking. Let me see what I can do about it. This is Delta Airlines Flight 37. It is arriving from Detroit. A330-300. 8 years old, first flight January 2017. Feathery light landing. Check out how slowly the front wheels of the main landing gear were hitting the ground. Butter. With a bit of reverser. Hadi Mat, Delaware, good morning. Hadi Ham, goedemorgen kerel. Peter, goedemorgen. Next up, KLM flight 758 arriving from Panama City. Behind it, El Al flight 337 arriving from Tel Aviv. Also a massive big thank you to Tom for your continued support, celebrating 9 months of membership today, getting closer to that 12 months in the lounge. Yeah, only 3 more months and you'll be a green member, like so many in the meantime already have become. Thank you so much, Tom, for your continued support as well, mate. I hope everything is still to your liking in the lounge. Let me know if something is running short or no longer to your liking. It goes for all members. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about ready with launching the ground crew merch. I'm expecting to be able to do that later today. This is the KLM 100 years 787-10 Dreamliner. It is a livery already 5 years behind schedule. Outdated by 5 years, but still beautiful to see. And a good reminder that you need to brush your teeth on a regular basis. Hey there, Otis, good morning. Bob, good evening, good to see you again. Evan, what is up, my friend? Good to see ya. Now, the first of the Quad Squad members will not be far away anymore, I think. It is turning in. Turning onto the glide slope in the distance. Can we see it? Yesterday we had to look in the vicinity of the pipes to see the third airplane. Now I'm not sure if we're able to see it because there are some clouds further north. So if you joined us just now, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching AMS Live. The channel Schiphol Group loves to hate it's that good, and we are standing at the Polderbaan runway 18 right, the only runway in use for arrivals. We have windy conditions, a little bit of crosswind even, and we have the full Quad Squad coming in today's show. That is the A340-600, which is now on the glide slope and number 3 to land. We have 3 Boeing 747s coming in and the A380. One of the 747s and the A380 were expected around the same time, so we might get a back-to-back glide slope shot later of those 2 airplanes. They're all expected before 12:15 local time, so check out the ticker on the left. You can see the time. If you don't have to be anywhere, stick around because it's going to be a fun show today. El Al flight 337 from Tel Aviv, keeping up the speed. Hadi Dirk, goedemorgen. No go-arounds yet. Yannick, goedemorgen. Yannick says that his parents are in the A350 that is coming towards the Netherlands from Bonaire. First Quad Squad member has been sighted. Here it is, now number 2. And also a massive big thank you and good morning to Vinny TV Adventures. Back in the chat, celebrating 10 months of membership. Vinny, thank you so much for your support, my friend. Hope all is good. Still in the lounge and with you, of course. Thank you so much for your continued support, Vinny. Let me know if something is no longer to your liking. Forgot the text. No problem, mate. No problem, mate. Misam is telling us that the Garuda government livery, that's I think the retro livery from Jakarta, is expected later in the morning. 11:46 a.m. So that is a moment in time when only one runway is open for arrival. So it might land on Polderbaan. Third airplane in the background, that is Turkish A330-300 arriving from Istanbul. So more heavy hitters back to back. Carol Ann, good morning. Good to see you again. Welcome one and all. Quad Squad Day today. This is KLM flight 696, arriving from Toronto, Canada. 6 hours and 50 minutes. It was traveling, and it's the FWAF. Didn't we see that yesterday as well? Or was that the FWAC? Anyway, let's have a look at its bigger sibling. It's the first member of the Quad Squad Club today. The A340, the A380 and Boeing 747, they're all expected in today's stream, so stick around if you want to see them all. We're going to catch them all, just like Pokemon. Suriname, once again, flying with an A340 to the Netherlands. Arriving from Paramaribo, operated by USC. This flight lasting 8 hours and 9 minutes as we speak. German registered. DAUS, that's Delta Alpha Uniform Simon and Zulu. 21 years old, first flight December 2003. And its smaller sibling from Turkish is hovering behind it. There you go. Patrick also back in the chat, good morning. Peter, goedemorgen. Welcome one and all. Quad Squad member numero uno of 5 in total. 3 747s and the A380 also coming. All before 12:15, so stick around if you don't have to be anywhere. Promises to become another beautiful stream. There she is. Oh yeah. Up on the Polderbaan, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent. Howdy Patrick, goedemorgen. Alan, mate, good morning. Looking back at the chat yesterday, I missed your message that you were announcing that you were going to see Ricky Gervais on Wednesday. Enjoy, mate. Truth be told, I am a bit jealous. Feel like that man is like a brother from another mother. The way he looks at the world. So I'm very not jealous. Looking forward to hearing from you how it was. This is the first of the entire Quad Squad. The A340-600, 3 Boeing 747s are underway, including the Kuna and Nagel. 7478. The Emirates A380 also coming in. Elise, good morning. Nick, good morning. Aeolus Capital, good morning. Aeolus says a long PVC pipe or tube with wheels. I think that would be an appropriate description. Let's quickly turn back. Its smallest sibling is about to land. Turkish flight 1951 arriving from Istanbul. A330-300. Bit more ubiquitous, but still lovely to see. And you could see another airplane in the background turning in. That was Croatia Airlines flight 450 with a Bombardier C-Series 300, aka A220. Also, good morning to everybody who has joined. Thomas, good morning. Chris, good morning. Los Viajes, the black and white, good morning. John Dutch Canadian, good morning. Chris, thank you so much for a very generous super chat there, mate. Happy New Year, mate. All the best from Perth, Western Australia. Thank you so much, Chris. And a belated Happy Australia Day. That was yesterday, I was told. Hope you had a good one. Happy New Year to you and yours as well, Chris. And thank you so much for your super chat. John, also good morning and awesome stream again. He says, while celebrating 3 months of membership, thank you so much for your continued support, John. Pleasure to have you again in this chat. And I hope you were in time to see the A340. Ladies and gentlemen, the entire quad squad is going to pass by today in today's stream. That's the A340-600, which you saw just now. 3 747s are coming, and the A380 as well. Let's have a quick look. Thought that was another 747 coming in pretty soon. This is the weather. Let's have a look at flight radar first. Yeah, we can see Atlas Air is already past England on its way over. Next airplane to land from the quad squad, expected 10:47. It's the Kuehne and Nagel 7478 arriving from Birmingham in the United States. Singapore Airlines is flying in the vicinity of Marseille. Now expected 11:42. 11 is 11 in Dutch. Losing a bit of time again. Hopefully it will arrive past 11:40 because then it will land on Polderbaan. Although by the looks of it, it is going to arrive from the west, so it looks like a candidate for Polderbaan regardless. This airplane will land at a time when one runway is going to be open for arrivals. That's going to be the Polderbaan. Saudia cargo expected 12:14 now and 12:16, so 2 minutes of difference. The Emirates A380. While we were on the website of the METAR, let's go back, have a look at the latest. This is a refresh. Now we have 20 knots of winds once again. Fuel clouds at 2,100 feet, 9 degrees Celsius. Let's quickly paste the meter into the ticker and then let's be on our way once more. So, if you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching MS Live. My name is Boyd. We're standing at the Polderbaan where just now the A340-600 landed. The first of the entire quad squad. That's all the 4-engined airplanes that are visiting Schiphol Airport. The A340-600 already landed. We still are in awaiting of 3 747s plus the A380 as you saw just now on flight radar. Wolfgang also back in the chat. Good morning. SE Aviation as well. Good morning. Pierre, goedemorgen. Good morning. Peter van Steen, goedemorgen. New here. Peter is new here and is saying hi and is saying very awesome stream. Thank you for your kind words, Peter. And if you are new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi like Peter just now did. It's not mandatory, but it is always appreciated. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Many people are watching, they're all friendly and many of them are knowledgeable. And if you are enjoying the stream so far and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. That really helps to promote this content to new people like Peter and others who might be into contents like this as well, but who haven't come across the channel yet. We have a Bombardier C-Series 300 from Croatia Airlines coming in from Zagreb. Check it out. I love these machines, they're so pretty. Together with the A350. I think from modern airplanes, the latest generation of passenger airplanes, these are the prettiest. Wolfgang asks if Lisa is out today. No, she's in the chat, but at home. Also has other things to do today, so probably not as active in the chat as you normally would expect her to be. Fritz, guten Morgen. Jin Shin, Happy New Year. Good to see you again. Planespot Carrington, guten Morgen. And indeed, the A220 is an A350 baby. That's a nice way of looking at it. I think you're right in that respect. Gebakje, goedemorgen. Gebakje is Dutch for little pastry. Right, it is a triplet of narrow bodies on the glide slope right now. Well, yeah, the third airplane also visible, a bit lower than number 2. Coming in first is an Embraer 175 KLM flight 1352 arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. After this, KLM flight 1918. That's an Embraer 190, the bigger sibling of this airplane, arriving from Zurich. Gertin, goedemorgen. Jolande, goedemorgen. Dutchie XXL, goedemorgen. Jan, goedemorgen. Gerrit, goedemorgen. Gerrit asks from what country the A340 was. That is from Suriname. Came in from Paramaribo. Rob, goedemorgen. Dutch Aviation NL, good morning. Welcome one and all. If you joined us just now, you might have already missed the landing of the A340-600 from Suriname, well operated by USC. We still have 3 747s coming in, the first of which is going to be the Kuehne and Nagel 747-8 from Atlas Air. Now traversing the North Sea and expected in, what was it, half an hour or so from now? This is KLM flight 1918 arriving from Zurich, number 190. Aditina, goedemorgen. Welcome Thomas, good morning. And welcome all others. Adrie, goedemorgen. Connie, goedemorgen. Welcome to all others who have joined us in the meantime. You're watching MS Live, the channel Schiphol Group loves to hate, it's that good. And we are standing at the Polderbaan with Crosswindy arrivals and the entire quad squad coming in. In the foreground we have a small airplane, an Embraer 190 from BA coming in from London City, and left of it is KLM flight 598. It's a 777-300 returning from Cape Town, South Africa. Miri, goedemorgen. We have another Delta A330 coming in from Tampa. That is now flying downwind. Looks like it is going to turn base pretty soon. And we have an A300-600 that is arriving from the east, from the right. Might catch a glimpse of it in the background in a moment. That is MNG Airlines. It says MNB 149, but it is MNG Airlines. Arriving from Istanbul. Hatim Sid, hey, morning. There it is, the A300-600. MNG Sun. Marissa says, for the next emoji, I vote for Quad Squad. Absolutely good suggestion. I think after the period of not streaming, we once again lost a lot of members, so we now, I think, need to cross the 900 barrier, and I think we're a couple hundred off. Sometimes it goes that quickly, but that's a very good suggestion for another emoji if it ever becomes available. Took us a long time to reach 700, and then 800 was a day later. Next threshold for a new custom emoji will be 900 members. Crazy if you think about it, the numbers. Hi Evelyn, goedemorgen. If you joined us just now, you might have missed the landing of the A340-600 already. The rest of the Quad Squad is still incoming. 3 747s plus the Emirates A380, all expected before 12:15 or around at the latest. 777-300 KLM flight 598. Arrival from Cape Town, South Africa, 11 hours and 9 minutes underway. 5,216 nautical miles it has journeyed. It is the PHBVC. 15 years old, first flight made 2009. MNB A300 behind it. MNG Airlines, I keep saying it wrong. Incorrectly. Oh? Is that a little bit of reverser use? No, that's just spray from the right main gear. For a moment it was looking like it was engaging the reverser, but obviously, being KLM, they didn't. Let's quickly turn back. MNG Airlines A330-600, flight 149, arriving from Istanbul, Turkey. Next to land, here on the Polderbaan, 3 hours and 8 minutes on the way, that's par for the course. The airplane is 25 years old, hailing from 1999. March that year it had its first flight. This stream is not sponsored by Hitachi, but that is an excavator. Still standing here. Working on the pressure pipe replacement lines. We have a 737-800 behind this A300. That is KLM flight 1402, arriving from Paris-Charles de Gaulle. And if you look low in the top bottom left, just above the clock, you can see another heavy airplane coming in. That is Delta Airlines flight 236, an A330-300 arriving from Tampa, Florida. Wind is not slowing down yet. H1 bird control van is also coming this way. Hey Stacy, good Sunday? Happy Monday. It's Monday over here. Well, I'm sure it is Monday for you too. And a belated happy Australia Day. It is windy, but sunny. It looks like it's going to stay dry. If you joined us now, you might have missed the landing of the A340-600 already. We have 747s coming in, 3 of them. The first of which is going to be the Kuehne & Nagel 747-8. The Emirates A380 is also coming in. It's all expected before or around 12:15 local time, which you can find in the bottom left corner of your screen. Peter, goedemorgen. Peter is announcing the Dreamliner arriving from Curaçao. Rowan, goedemorgen. Marino Panta, good morning. Wonderful sunny morning to you too. Fanblade, good morning. And Atlas 747 confirmed for Polderbaan. Nice. Let's have a look. Here we have KLM Flight 1402 and we have KLM KLM Delta Flight 236 behind it. The A330-300 is arriving from Tampa, and the next airplane is a bit further away. There's a little gap between the two airplanes you're seeing now and the next airplane, unless there's an airplane not showing on flight radar that is actually in between. Looks like the Dreamliner arriving from Edmonton is going to be the third airplane, but that's only what I can see on flight radar, and I have AMS inbound filtered. Gerrit asked about the age of the A300. It was 25 years old. March 1999, if I recall correctly, was its first flight. Yeah. So there it is, the next airplane. That is from KLM Flight 676. The next after the Delta arriving from Tampa, which is over here. Delta Airlines Flight 236, A330-300, 20 years old, first flight March 2004, 8 hours and 2 minutes on the way from Tampa, Florida to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Arjan, goedemorgen. Tom, good morning. GJDR or GJDR, good morning. JW Slijm, goedemorgen. Rick, goedemorgen. Okay. Opposite end of the spectrum, slow and subdued. Wow. It almost sounds depressed. You feeling okay, little A330? Wow. Howdy Artyom, goedemorgen. It is nice weather indeed, bit windy but not too cold and beautifully sunny, as you can see. Slowest Delta ever indeed, Maria. What? Monica, guten Morgen. Tuning in from Germany, herzlich willkommen. Welcome to all others who have joined. Edward, goedemorgen. Beppe asks, Queen incoming. Absolutely. The next Queen is the Kühne & Nagel from Atlas Air, which is flying base and should be turning in pretty soon. Marissa says, don't make it more depressed by calling it little boy. Sorry. Indeed, Alan, the Delta looked embarrassed. Usually their arrival is so bombastic, you almost are inclined to give it a little cuddle if it comes in so quietly. Welcome everybody who has joined us just now. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the Polderbaan. Quad Squad arrivals today with Crosswind. The A340-600 from Suriname already landed. 3 747s, including the Kühne and Nagel, are underway. The Kühne and Nagel is turning in and is expected in a couple of minutes. The A380 is also expected, and they're all coming in before 12:15, and we are sticking around to catch them all. If you don't have to be anywhere, stick around and join us while catching the beautiful glide slope shots here. Quick sip of vodka and then it is back to the camera controls. Our next airplane, KLM flight 676, arriving from Edmonton, Canada. That is a 7879 Dreamliner, flying 8 hours precisely according to flight radar. The PHBHN. It is 7 years old. First flight of this airplane was in January 2018. What is up, Andy? Good morning. Michael, good morning. Welcome all viewers who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at the Polderbaan where it is a bit windy. And the entire Quad Squad is coming in today. Second Quad Squad member now on the glide slope. That is Atlas Air arriving from Birmingham, USA. If you joined us just now, you might have missed the landing of the A340-600 already. This is Atlas Air, the first of 3 747s expected in today's stream. The A380 is also coming. Preceding the 747 is TUI Flight 370, arriving from Curaçao, Willemstad. That's a 7878 Dreamliner. Let's go overboard with digital zoom. Bring the Kühne and Nagel in a little bit more closer. Which I'm surprised, given the windy conditions, I'm still able to bring it in so stably. Nice. We can see the gear deployment. Back to the top end of optical zoom. First up, TUI Flight 370, arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao, 8 hours and 9 minutes. It has journeyed to get here, 10 years old, first flight May 2014. Okay, it has landed safely. The airplane that you see behind the 747 is Tarom Flight 361, arriving from Bucharest at a respectable distance. A 737-800. Barry, good morning. Ella, good morning. Good morning everybody else who has joined. Evert, goedemorgen. Kühne and Nagel, Atlas Air 7478, arriving from Birmingham, USA. 7 hours and 31 minutes underway. The airplane is 2 years old. October 2022 is when this airplane first began its career as a professional airplane. Now at 1400 feet and descending with approximately 700 feet per minute. Qatar A350 arriving from Doha, number 3. Out there. Derek, goedemorgen. Peter, goedemorgen. And indeed, Garuda Indonesia in the retro livery. also expected in an hour or so from now. ITA is also coming. In other words, it is a stream filled with beautiful things to see. If you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. If you've been enjoying the show so far and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. It really helps to promote this content to new people who are into streams such as these, but who haven't come across the channel yet. Kühne and Nagel 7478. Arriving from Birmingham. Oh no, no idle reverse landing. That's a shame. Such a glorious machine, and it also has the potential to get so loud. Oh man, what a beautiful machine. Only 2 years old still. Play is also coming, folks. We have ITA as number 3 on the glide slope. Play is looking to become number 5. Midvi already has to go. That's a shame. Thank you so much for joining, Midvi. Don't forget to check back later to see the landings of the other Quad Squad members. We still have 2 747s and the A380 coming in. Qatar A350 is already on the glide slope. Behind it we have ITA. Play is also coming. Rowan says, I think he wanted to do a go around, but didn't in the end. Wish that they did. Beautiful reflection of that livery in the morning light. Let's quickly turn back, have a look at the landing of Tarom. Arriving from Bucharest, flight 361. Okay, nothing to see. Her Majesty has vacated the runway. We'll be making a left-hand turn pretty soon. Hey Jeff, what is up? Good to see you, mate. If you joined us just now, you might have missed the landing of this beauty. And you almost certainly will have missed the A340-600 unless you were in Lurker's Lounge at the time. The entire Quad Squad arriving today. The A340-600 has already landed. The Kühne and Nagel, the second Quad Squad member. We have 2 more 747s coming in. And the A380 as well. Otherwise it wouldn't be a complete Quad Squad lineup. Let's quickly turn back. Qatar A350-900 arriving from Doha, the next airplane on the glide slope, and behind it we have ITA Airways arriving from Rome. That's an A321neo that you see on the left, flight 108. And on the right we have Qatar Airlines, flight 275 arriving from Doha. 6 hours and 13 minutes, it's flight time. The airplane is 9 years old. Registration A7ALD Alpha Lima Delta. First flight of this airplane was in May 2015. Hey there, stranger, good morning. Good to see you again. Anja, goedemorgen, good to see you too. Welcome one and all. Hope everybody is doing alright. It's a beautiful sunny day here at Schiphol Airport. Looks like it's going to stay dry, although showers might drift in later. For now, it looks okay. Looks like we're going to be good here for the upcoming hours. We still have wind blowing from the southwest. But sunshine and almost double digit temperatures in Celsius. If you joined us just now, you may have missed the landings of the A340-600 en de Kuhn en Nagel 7478. Bird control over there, celebrating something with fireworks. Nice physics demonstration, the difference between the speed of light and the speed of sound. Demonstrated here. Quite clearly. Hadi Lane, goedemorgen, good to see you again. Joanne, good morning. Welcome all others who have joined us in the meantime. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. It's not mandatory, but it is always appreciated. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Many people are watching, they're all friendly, and many of them are knowledgeable. ITA Airways flight 108 arriving from Rome. A321neo coming in first. After that, it is Air Arabia Maroc. No, Electra Airways coming in from Tangier. Behind it, we have Play, and behind that, ITA Airways once again. Already visible just below the number 3. For airplane glide slope shot. And a Hitachi excavator. Pressure pipeline replacement. While they are going to replace it, those are going to be the new pressure pipelines for elevated shit. And look at the beautiful livery. What a beautiful color. It's almost a matte kind of blue. Looks best in the sunshine, although even on cloudy days I think it is still a stunner. Would be even better if the engine casings were red, just like with the NBA special livery from the Emirates A380. Nobody is perfect, good morning. Next up, Electra Airways flight 127 arriving from Tangier in Morocco. It is flying for 2 hours and 34 minutes now. 32 years old already, what? First flight of this airplane, February 1992. What? I was still 2 more years in elementary school. That is an old one. Stranger will be flying to Oslo on SAS this Saturday. What time will you be leaving? Don't know, of course, what the weather and wind are going to do on those days. That's always the big if here. Nicholas says, could be the oldest active A320. Well, it's definitely not one of the youngest. That much we can know for sure. In the meantime, also K2 is passing by here, keeping us safe from any birds that might be flying too close to the runway. Oh, 777 passing overhead, outbound. Chinese triple, going back to China. Ladies and gentlemen, it is playtime once again, going from red to blue after this, with the second ITA coming in after this airplane has landed. It is play flight 460 arriving from Reykjavik, 2 hours and 55 minutes. Bit wobbly before the touchdown, but there you go, not going around. Sticks the landing. The airplane is 2 years old, first flight October 2022. Indeed. Oh, mother effer. Of all the places K2 could park his car. He didn't like me calling him mother effer. That's him saying shut up. Ah. Jeff also scrolled back for the depressed Delta. Yeah. That poor thing. Now we also have a cat over here. We have a cat. We have a Hitachi. We have a Ford Ranger Raptor. And we have the second ITA. This is ITA flight 120 arriving from Milan. 1 hour and 33 minutes away. An A320 that is 16 years old, hailing from the year 2008. First flight of this airplane was in July that year. Nice combo shot. And reversers. Allora, benvenuti. Good morning, Ari Safari. And good morning, Stephen. Stephen is new to the channel, watching from Australia. Do I show departures? Well, if the runway use is favorable for it, I do. But now today, departures are much more interesting. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi like Stephen just now did. It's not mandatory, but it is always appreciated. Can we get a combo shot of overhead traffic and really high overhead traffic? No, already passed. It already passed. Next up, EasyJet A320 Neorio, in fact, arriving from London Stansted. 44 minutes to flight time. 2-year-old airplane, first flight October 2022. Another EasyJet A320 Neorio from Edinburgh is behind this airplane. Spaghetti macaroni, Mr. Blue Sky says. And Stranger says that his flight departs at 10:45. Seat on the port side. Yeah, if you want to film the departures, it's best to film them from Polderbaan. Having a seat on the left hand side would then be the best seat to have. Now, I am seeing a few clouds here and there. It's definitely not yet Cavoque, but other than that, not a lot of clouds. Also not in the direction of the wind. While we have a few moments left, let's have a quick look and update the weather report again. The last METAR was having 20 knots of wind. That has not changed. Few clouds at 2,100 feet. Not much has changed in the meantime. I'll paste that in the ticker. Then, no, not enough time. I'll paste that METAR into the ticker after this landing. EasyJet A320 Neo coming in from Edinburgh. The next airplane. An Embraer 190 from KLM arriving from London City after that. Haven't seen any go-rounds yet. There's still 20 knots of wind. You can see there's a little bit of crosswind, although not a lot. Mostly headwind, but a little bit of side as well. Next airplanes are approaching. While they are approaching, let's quickly update the ticker with the latest weather report. Paste that in. Also, let's have a quick look at where the remaining Quad Squad members currently are flying. So, Atlas Air Kuehne and Nagel has already landed. Singapore Airlines is approaching and expected around 11:42, going towards Paris. I'm thinking it is going to make a left-hand approach to the Polderbaan. Saudia is expected 12:12, and Emirates is also expected 12:12. So, yeah. More 747s are expected later in the day. I'm not going to stick around until it has landed, but it is the Silkway West Airlines arrival from Baku, expected around 2:30 today. For now, let's quickly go back to the camera. The first airplane to the center runway is also approaching. It is almost 11 o'clock, from 11 until 11:40. Parallel arrivals expected. KLM flight 1930 arrival from Geneva is the first airplane coming to the center runway. Hey there, Felix, good morning. Javaris, good morning. Javaris is a new subscriber here. Welcome, and how nice of you to say hi. Feel free to do so if you are new to the channel. It is not mandatory, but it is always appreciated. And don't be afraid to ask any questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Many people are watching and they are all friendly. Many of them are knowledgeable too. So we have Quad Squad members underway. Saudia flying over France. No, Singapore. And Saudia was also not too far away. Similar ETA as the A380 once again. We're also expecting the Retro livery from Garuda, Indonesia. And Herpa Derpa Derpa is third for arrival to center. Marissa says, Hadi Sam, goedemorgen. Parallel arrivals in the meantime have begun. KLM flight 1930 arriving from Geneva, the first to center. We're not going to follow it extensively because we have an A330 next to land here, arriving from Bonaire. This is KLM flight 767. Now the flight time of this airplane is 8 hours and 24 minutes. It is the PHAKB, P-H-A-K-B. The airplane is 12 years old, first flight February 2012. E2 Embraer 195 arriving from London Heathrow behind it. Typical KLM fashion. Let's not use the reversers, just roll out quietly. Also, just now we could hear an agricultural vehicle passing by. Not sure what the contraption it is towing is for, but looks impressive. Although you don't see the length of the appendix. Maybe if it turns a bit to the right, which it will in a moment. Yeah. Interesting machinery. Stranger asking what the AMS name is live stands for. That is Rotterdam The Hague Airport, my friend. Marlene asks if I knew know why KLM flight 605 returned to Schiphol. Wasn't it 132? I don't know why it returned. All I know is it was flying out to San Francisco and it had to go, for reasons unknown, it went back, landed on the center runway safely. Jeffrey, goedemorgen. Koen, goedemorgen. This is an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from London Heathrow, 44 minutes on the way. Airplane is 1 year old, hailing from the year 2024, month not specified on flight radar. First officer initiated the wave, so I wove back. Is that the past tense of wave? Wove? Waved back. Benny, goedemorgen. Alrighty. Now, where are the airplanes? There is one flying towards the Polderbaan. Still pretty far away. That's number 175 arriving from Southampton. I think this is the Herpa Derpa Derpa then. Yep, it is. Going viral. 75 years of herpes. And you can tell the wind is now perpendicular to the camera angle and that is causing shuddering despite having enabled image stabilizer. So, although I haven't seen anybody use it yet, it is one of those days where Viagra is in the air and that other new custom emoji you can use. You don't hear it per se because I'm using a blimp. Oh, this is what happens if you let go of the camera without locking the pen and tilt axis. You don't hear it per se that much because I'm using a blimp which is mitigating wind rumble very efficiently. But it is windy, the windsock on Viagra today. There you go. Peter PDK, good evening, goedemorgen, goedenavond, yeah, good morning. Peter was saying good evening to Maria, for who, of course, it is evening already. Alrighty. Let's turn back. That Embraer 175 arriving from Southampton has gotten closer by in the meantime, and it has brought along a little friend. That's an Embraer 190 in the background on the left, arriving from London City. We have an EasyJet A319 arriving from Geneva. That is now number 3 for the Polderbaan. EasyJet A320 is turning in. That is arriving from Bristol. Airplanes further away are flying a bit lower in the sky. A 4-airplane glide slope shot you can see if you look closely. Now also a massive big thank you to John Mackenzie, or is it Mackenzie? Where do you put the emphasis? Probably Mackenzie. John is celebrating 12 months of membership, and that's another member who has gone green. John, thank you so much for your continued support, my friend. Hope you like being in the lounge still. If something is no longer to your liking or if supplies are running low, let me know. Let me see what I can do then. John, thank you so much for your continued support, my friend. Hope you're going to stick around, if not as a member, then at least as a recurring visitor for many more months to come. Let's see, AG is also coming in to center, and I think this is SAS now approaching. Yep, this SAS, flight 1553. Airplanes in the distance, and the Embraer 175 just now landed here, arriving from Southampton. Excavator coming this way, you might pick it up on the mic. Three airplanes on the glide slope. We have KLM Embraer 190 in the foreground on the left. On the right. We have EasyJet A319 in the middle, arriving from Geneva, and behind that should be an EasyJet A320 arriving from Bristol. A fourth airplane also visible. It's a bit of a curve, a swish. That's an Embraer 190 arriving from Bristol. 4 airplane glide slope shot. Haven't seen Jerry yet. We also missed him yesterday with the many beautiful glide slope shots that were visible then. Hopefully he's watching the streams on replay. This is KLM flight 982 arriving from London City, Embraer 190. And for the first time it looks like the sun is temporarily hiding behind a cloud. 38 minutes of flight time, nominal flight time. Hands on the desk, both of them. Put your hand on the dashboard. More cloudiness drifting in. That's a first. The wind's blowing from over there. A bit further towards the west, looking where the sea is at, it is more clear. You can see where the wind is blowing from, there's more cloudiness drifting in. Hopefully the sun is going to return at some stage. It was said that later in the day the sun was going to shine more abundantly, so still hoping for that. In the meantime, we have an A319 from EasyJet arriving from Geneva. Flight 27866, flight time 1 hour and 13 minutes. 14-year-old airplane, first flight September 2010. And another EasyJet arriving from Bristol. Next after this, a regular A320 that is going to be. Paul is saying in Dutch that the crabbing in the wind looks nice. It certainly does, doesn't it? Even though it's not very crosswindy, on paper the wind is blowing from the south most of all. It's 210 degrees, 220 degrees, so this is approximately where the wind is blowing from, at least on ground level. That is what it says. In the water, things look like so. You can see the grass is definitely waving, and you can also see, if I point the camera and leave it stationary, you can see the speed of the clouds drifting by. Wind on the scale of chimney smoke currently looking like this. Next airplane to land is EasyJet A320 arriving from Bristol. Here it is. Flight 22921. 55 minutes underway. 13-year-old airplane. It's not Jesus, but Jesus. Or Gas UK. Maybe that's the way you're supposed to pronounce it. 13-year-old airplane, first flight June 2011. And we've yet to see any go-arounds. For those of you wondering and joined us later, we haven't seen any yet. If you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing at the Polderbaan. You may have missed the landings of a 747-8 Kuehne and Nagel and USC flying on behalf of Suriname Airways, apologies, A340-600. The entire quad squad is expected today. The A340-600 already landed. One of 3 747s has. 2 more 747s are underway, as is the Emirates A380. The excavator is now moving. Hitachi no longer sponsoring the show. KLM flight 1076 arriving from Bristol up next. Gives me a moment to go back to the computer and thank Jeffrey, who is also going green, celebrating 12 months of membership, and he writes, always a pleasure to watch the live stream. Jeffrey, thank you so much for your ongoing support. Hope everything is still to your liking in the lounge. Let me know if something is running low or if something in the lounge is no longer to your liking. Hope you're going to stick around for many more months, as if not as a member, then at least as a recurring visitor. Thank you so much for your support, Jeffrey. Our next airplane is a German Airways Embraer 190 flying on behalf of KLM. Arriving from Bristol. I would have expected a Britty Hopper instead, but there you go. We also saw Eastern Airways Britty Hoppers flying to Bremen the other day, so why not mix it up? Is that a police car in the background? Driving on the highway? I thought it looked like it. Nope, don't think it was. For a moment it looked like it. There you go. Herzlich willkommen, liebe Freunde. Welcome back from Bristol. Next airplane coming in is another Embraer 190. This is an Eastern Airways airplane flying on behalf of KLM, arriving from Norwich. 31 minutes the flight time. 18-year-old airplane, first flight somewhere in 2007. 2 more airplanes already visible, making this a 3 airplane glide slope shot. Second airplane is KLM flight 1136 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. That's a 737-800, and behind that is a 737-900 arriving from Birmingham. Is that the KLM SkyTeam livery? It certainly is. One of 2 remaining SkyTeam liveried airplanes in the fleet of KLM, the other being the Embraer 190. Marissa's beloved PHBVD unfortunately got repainted recently back into KLM's standard livery. Apparently it is more difficult to see damage on the fuselage with the color it was in. So I'm not sure if that makes the remaining SkyTeam airplanes more dangerous. Anyway. Barry is asking, are we due an A380 anytime soon? In an hour or so from now, Barry. Arriving nearly simultaneously with a Saudia cargo 747, but before that we're also going to expect a Singapore Airlines cargo 747, which was looking to be heading towards Paris, and I'm hoping is going to arrive in the Netherlands from the west, making it a candidate for Polderbaan regardless of the time of arrival. Wolfgang unfortunately has to go. I hope you are going to enjoy the rest of your week, Wolfgang, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for joining, mate. I think I'm logged in my chat, not as AMS Live, so every time you guys are highlighting AMS Live, I'm not seeing it. Just notice it just now. Also see that Raven Rock is back in the chat. Raven Rock, good morning. And thank you so much for your generosity, gifting 5 memberships just now. I hope that everybody who received their gifted membership from you just now will say thank you for it. Welcome to the Aurora Skyline's new members. You now have access to all our custom emojis for a month. Enjoy them. Be free to use them whenever you see fit. Spamming is not allowed, but you're always allowed to use custom emojis however you see fit. Welcome to the Aurora Skyline's new members. Raven Rock, thank you so much for your generosity. I don't know why I am not logged in my chat window as AMS Live, but I only just now noticed that everybody is using hashtag AMS Live and it doesn't show red in my chat. I have to really look closely if somebody is talking directly to me. Apparently I am in the chat window as a guest. Interesting. Okay. We'll have to look into that when I'm back home, how that happened. Did the same thing as yesterday. Yesterday I was in the chat as AMS Live, and every time you guys were mentioning my name using a hashtag or not, I would see it. I missed all the good jokes, Wolfgang says. Oh man, I have to look back the chat then, which I will. Keep missing tidbits of information. Max Pyro, good to see you again. Marton, goedemorgen. Herzlich willkommen aus Germany. This is the KLM SkyTeam 737-900 arriving from Birmingham today, flying as KLM flight 1042. Smooth touchdown there. Howdy Jaap, goedemorgen. Jaap is tuning in from Gouda. Nobody is perfect says you missed all the bad jokes today. I missed them all. God damn it. Well, I'll have to enjoy all your jokes, good and bad, afterwards then. Nah, I often read back the chat because I frequently miss stuff. So whenever I have time for it, I do try to look back, see what you guys wrote, see that I didn't miss anything important. Now, parallel arrivals and narrow bodies galore on both runways for the time being. I also see that the first Ryanair of the show is now on the glide slope to Polderbaan. I think it is, yeah, it's number 3, so it has to be this specimen over there. Let's see if Ryanair today is going to apply their reversers. They often do. And even though they're a dime in, most of them are a dime in a dozen 737 next generation, they do get loud. The Neos, the Maxes as well, by the way. Steven Seagull in the foreground, keeping calm. Interestingly, the Seagulls yesterday were sort of attacking Harry the Heron for sitting in what appeared to be their turf. Harry the Heron being attacked unprovoked. Eddie has returned from the dental hygienist. Too bad that we aren't able to see your smile now. Sure, it is shiny. Let's see, Ryanair is now number 2, being preceded by a German Airways Embraer 190 arriving from Aberdeen. This is what used to be Chucky, the return of the D APRI. We also saw it yesterday. Unfortunately, no longer flying as Chucky. Marton says, I will go from Schiphol to Mumbai on February 25th. Maybe see you out there. What day of the week is that going to be? Unfortunately, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are days that I need to work and am unable to stream regardless of the weather. And thank you, Marton, for your kind words. He says, or she, I don't know, Marton. Marton is probably a male name. If not, then apologies and do correct me. I love your style and nice vibes. That's exactly what I strive for here, nice vibes. I think the Amos Live audience is unique in that respect. Always very pleasant vibes over here, which you don't necessarily see everywhere. Another first officer throwing a wave. I was a little late with catching it, but I did reciprocate. Hopefully the FO still saw it. Hey, Paul, back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is good. Crosswindy day here today. You missed the A340-600 probably if you only joined us just now. We had the Kuhne and Nagel 747-8 coming in and a very depressed, sad Delta. Very quiet. Pipelines being constructed, the temporary pressure line replacement, traversing the cycling path and continuing on this side for reasons unknown. But they're busy at my usual spot, so I'm a bit further south of where I normally would have been standing. The entire quad squad coming in today. The first member, the A340-600, already landed early in the stream. The A340, the 747-8 from Kuhne and Nagel followed not long after that. We're still due 2 more 747s, the last of which is expected around the same time as the A380 is, around 12:15. And all is well over here as well, Paul. Thanks for asking. Glad to see that the weather has improved a little bit with the weather, the wind, and the quad squad agenda. I felt like I had to go out for a stream on Monday, even though that normally would have been my day off. But given that I wasn't able to stream before yesterday, I felt you guys, I owed you guys one. Haven't been streaming nearly as frequently as I would have liked in the last 2 months. Majority of the reason being the weather. Singapore 747 confirmed for Polderbound, Marissa says. That's very good news. And Martin is indeed male. We have a name in Dutch as well that is for guys, and that's Martin. So I figured Martin might probably be a related name to Martin. So I'm unfortunately logged in a guest account in my chat today, seemingly. I only noticed it just now when I happened to see that people were addressing me with @AMS Live and it didn't show in red like it normally would. Inbound traffic now for the time being, traffic to the center runway. That's not because of an impending runway inspection by the looks of it, but just because there's a gap. There is an E2 arriving from the west, arriving from Newcastle. Normally it would go to the Polderbaan. If it doesn't, then that is an indication of an impending runway inspection. That usually precedes the closure of the secondary runway. In other words, it means that Polderbaan is soon going to be the only runway open for arrivals. Depends on what the E2 is going to do. It's flying base. Let's see, what altitude is it flying on? Ant-Man also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope you've been well. Long time no see, got the feeling. Let's see, the E2 is flying at 2,700 feet, so I think it is coming for the Polderbaan then. Well, yeah. Jeffrey says the last 2 months the weather was kwalitatief uitermate teleurstellend, which is Dutch for qualitatively very disappointing, but the abbreviation stands for kut, which is a curse word in Dutch that you can use like shit, but a bit worse. It is also a term for a female reproductive organ, to put it medically, but not a friendly one. But the weather indeed has been very disappointing. We've had a lot of foggy days and low ceiling days and drizzly days. And yeah, if there's a parking lot where you can stand being protected from the elements, but you're not allowed to stand there, yeah, are reliant on outdoors conditions. And if they are a bit disappointing, it results in not as many streams as your host would have liked. Then again, the days are lengthening again here on the Northern Hemisphere, so sooner or later improvement is expected. So yeah, work being done on the pipelines, and it does look like the Embraer arriving from Newcastle is turning in for the Polderbaan, followed by KLM flight 606 now flying base and returning from San Francisco. Peter Stredak says, hey, love your voice and accent, excellent. Thank you so much for your kind words, Peter, and thank you for saying hi. Don't be afraid to do so, like Peter just now did, if you are new to the channel or if you just want to say hi. It's not mandatory, but it is always appreciated. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Many people are watching, they're all friendly, many of them are knowledgeable. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Parallel arrival still in progress, with more not Britty hoppers, but German Airways and Embraers flying on behalf of KLM. Beo Porqué, hello. Kuksol, good day. JetBlue A321neo arriving from New York JFK is also coming this way. While we are awaiting the arrival of the first airplane, which you can already see in the distance, let's have a quick look and see where the heavy hitters are at. The airplanes of interest we're all looking for. Singapore Airlines is already in Dutch airspace, flying in the Rotterdam-The Hague metropolitan area. Expected in a couple of minutes. Already confirmed for Polderbaan. Flying in German heartland are both the Emirates A380, now expected at 12:09 and 5 minutes behind it, so no longer parallel arrivals or back-to-back glide slope shots, unfortunately. Saudia expected at 12:15. Alan has to go. It's time for it's piss off Monday morning, my favorite day. Well, you enjoy pissing off people, and if I'm not seeing you again before Wednesday, enjoy Ricky Gervais. Looking forward to hearing how it's been when you've been there. KLM 787-10 Dreamliner at the 7 o'clock of the Embraer E2 Embraer 195. The E2 Embraer is arriving from Newcastle. The Seagull, don't know where it's going to or where it's coming from. The 787-10 is KLM flight 606 arriving from San Francisco. Well, well, well. Lovely to see. Again, a gust of wind. Let's see, anything else immediately behind the 787-10? Not yet, although JetBlue is turning in, probably a bit lower, probably in the vicinity of the pipes, question mark. It's always hard to estimate where the airplanes are in actuality based on what you see on flight radar. Oh yeah, there it is, JetBlue A321neo arriving from New York, JFK. Number 3 turning in. Right now, the first next airplane to arrive, KLM flight 954 E2 Embraer 195, arriving from Newcastle. 53 minutes underway, 2 years old, first flight March 2022. Marissa says that the SFO plane is the one that returned back from AMS yesterday. That's also why it is coming with a delay of 2+ hours. So yeah, apparently same airplane that landed on center yesterday now making a regular appearance here on the Polderbaan, which is what you normally would have expected from airplanes arriving from the west. Yesterday it landed on center. I don't know if that was by choice or by request of the pilots, or it was the only airplane at the time arriving from the west that went there. So it probably was on request of the pilots. Hey, and is there a message for AMS Live viewers over there? I'm still calling out all first officers. Leave us a message. You can see, we can read it if you use a Sharpie and not a pencil. You should be able to read the message. I'll make a separate video of your landing, first officer, if you guys put a message behind that sunscreen for AMS Live viewers. Next up, KLM flight 606 arriving from San Francisco. 787-10 Dreamliner, 10 hours and a minute underway according to flight radar. Now at 1,000 feet and descending with a speed of minus 668 feet per minute. Dixit flight radar. The airplane is 5 years old, first flight October 2019. Hey there, Mark. Good day. Camille asks, anyone know why it had to divert yesterday? I still haven't seen an answer, but maybe somebody already mentioned it. I'm also curious if anybody knows more. For those of you joining us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and this is the Polderbaan where we have arrivals. Crosswindy arrivals. This airplane diverted back to Amsterdam yesterday when it was outbound to San Francisco. Technical issues, Benny says. Singapore at Zandvoort, Shani says. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It ought to be visible if I know where to point the camera. Flying bit out at sea. I think I have it. I think I have it. I'm pretty sure I have it. BINGO. There's our next Quad Squad member. Singapore Airlines Cargo will be landing here on Polderbaan pretty soon, flying northbound over the North Sea. Still pretty far out. It looks very pixelated because I need to zoom in tremendously, but I did see it. It's coming, and the next Quad Squad member of the show. If you joined us just now, you may have missed earlier Quad Squad members landing already. We are going to see the entire Quad Squad today. That means the A340-600, which already landed first of the Quad Squad members today. The Kuehne & Nagel 747-8 Atlas Air also arrived earlier. Her Majesty from Singapore is the next, and Saudia is going to be the last of today's show. Shortly before the Saudia 747 is going to land, we are also going to see the Emirates A380. Both expected in 45 minutes from now, and the Saudia of course a bit sooner than that. This is JetBlue flight 62288 in the new livery. the livery that looks so much like the blue of ITA Airways. Sander, goedemorgen kerel, good to see ya. Ben is tuning in from Newcastle near Sydney, Australia. Good evening, mate. Wagner is tuning in from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Bom dia. Hope everybody is doing well. This is JetBlue arriving from New York JFK. It's an A321 Neo, 6 hours and 37 minutes underway. That's nearly the nominal flight time of the A380 when it comes in from Dubai. The airplane is new, brand spanking new, in fact, hailing from November last year, so only a couple of months old still. I think ITA's blue looks better, but this comes damn near close. Look at this beautiful machine. Statement piece. Well, what a statement it is. Ooh, Jeff, sorry. Paul, you maybe didn't know it yet, but Jeff told us yesterday that the North Sea is no longer the North Sea, but it is the Gulf of Yorkshire. It has so been decided by the British government. The Gulf of Yorkshire. That's where the 747 is flying. Air France flight 1500 going to the center runway. Another Bombardier C series, aka A220. Beautiful machines. Together with the A350, in my opinion, the prettiest modern day passenger airplanes. Hey there, Oleg. Gabriel, bonjour. Salut, mon ami. Welcome, one and all. You're watching Amos Live. The channel Schiphol Group loves to hate, it's that good. And we are standing here at the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. For the time being, still one of two runways for arrivals. In 4 or 5 minutes or so from now, it is going to be Polderbaan arrivals only. We already saw the A340-600 from Suriname, flown by USC, land earlier. The Kuehne & Nagel 747-8 from Atlas also landed already. In a couple of minutes we are going to see Her Majesty the Queen from Singapore Airlines Cargo arriving. I think it was coming in from Nairobi, Kenya, if I recall correctly. That's the second queen of the show, and the third queen is coming in as well. Around 12:15 it is expected. Saudia Cargo, and around the same time the A380 from Emirates is also expected. The entire quad squad once again coming in today. So stick around if you don't have to be anywhere. Miri asks on behalf of her husband what kind of camera I am using. It is a Canon XA60. Canon XA60. Iceland Air Flight 500, MAX 9 Boeing 737. And Her Majesty the Queen now third on the glide slope, being preceded by number 175 KLM arriving from Bergen. Marissa says that KLM Embraer 190 from Gothenburg should be the last plane for center if all is well, so pretty soon everything is going to come back to the Polderbaan exclusively. We're sticking around at least until the Saudia 747 and the Emirates A380 have landed. If any more wide-bodied heavy hitters are coming not too far behind, I'm going to stick around until they have landed as well. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. We're going to catch them all just like Pokemon. If you're enjoying the stream and you haven't done so already, consider leaving a like. It helps tremendously to promote this channel to new viewers like yourselves perhaps, who might have come across a suggested thumbnail as well at some point. People who don't know the channel yet but who would also be into streams like these, your like really helps in that respect. Iceland Air Flight 500, the next airplane to land, MAX 9 737, 2 hours and 40 minutes underway, 5-year-old airplane, hailing from the year 2019. Next month, this airplane is going to turn 6. And here is the compartment for mothers-in-laws. They travel alone, have their private suite on board Iceland Air. Next up, an airplane that we are not going to see land because it is preceding a 747, and that is the fate of non-wide-bodied airplanes preceding Quad Squad members. Singapore Airlines cargo in the background, flight 7343 arriving from Nairobi, Kenya. It is a 747-400 freighter. Flight time 8 hours and 37 minutes. Let's see if I can lock the axes a bit. Makes for probably a bit calmer. Yeah, that does help. Nice. 8 hours and 38 minutes underway from Nairobi, Kenya. The 747 9V SFO San Francisco. 20 years old already, first flight July 2004. Crosswindy conditions, as you guys can see. This is the second 747 of the show. Another one is expected in half an hour or so. Oleg asks if Iceland Air still has some 757s. They definitely do. But we unfortunately haven't seen any recently. Now in the meantime, Dirk Tor going ahead, gifting 5 memberships just now. Mate, thank you so much for your generosity. You didn't have to do that, but you did it anyway. I hope that everybody who received a membership from you just now will thank you for it. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Don't forget to say thank you to Dirk on Tour if you just now got gifted a membership, and don't forget to use the custom emojis that you now have access to for a month. This is the second 747 of the show. We also are expecting the A380, and if you joined us just now, welcome first and foremost. We also might have missed the 747-8 from Atlas Air, Kuehne and Nagel, which landed earlier, and the A340-600. The entire quad squad coming in today. This is Singapore Airlines cargo. Flight 7343 arriving from Nairobi, Kenya. 8 hours and 39 minutes underway in the meantime. 20 years old. In the meantime, not far behind this 747 flying parallel to it to the center runway is the last airplane to center. KLM flight 1230, number 190 to Oslo. From Göteborg. I need more vodka. Means that after that airplane has landed, everything inbound will be coming to the Polderbaan. Fidel Castro in the foreground, you can see him hunting for Pinky and the Brine. Let's look and listen for the landing. Hopefully there's still spray and water remaining. If they apply the reversers, of course. Which they do. Nice indeed. That was a gorgeous landing. Now, if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around for at least another half hour, because we are expecting another 747 from Saudia plus the Emirates A380, both expected shortly after noon local time, which you can find in the bottom left corner of your screen. And if there are more heavy hitters, not far behind the A340 and the 747. I'm going to stick around for them as well. Garuda Retro livery also coming in. Shuni is announcing it is making the last turn, so Michael says a queen never disappoints. Peter agrees. I'm sure that Lisa will too. Garuda is still confirmed for Polderbound, Marissa says. That is great news. We have another Ryanair coming in next for the Polderbound. 737-800, flight 3006. Let's see if there's any spray left for the pilots. In the meantime, big picture wise, a bit more darker overcast conditions south of me, but as you can see the way the clouds are drifting, it's going to pass south of me. This is when we need to look to see the upcoming weather. Still looks so decently fine, although like I said before, one or two rain droplets could always fall. Generally speaking, it was expected that as the day progresses the sun was going to shine a bit more. Now again, if you joined us just now, stick around if you have the time for it. In half an hour from now, both Emirates A380 and Saudia Cargo 747 are still expected to land here on the runway we are standing next to, the Polderbound. Singapore Airlines, in the meantime, is taxiing away. Gives me a moment to go back to the laptop. Gratje, thank you so much, mate. A super chat for 1,000 viewers. Hashtag free P3. And I forgot to lock the tilt axis. Apologies. Then the camera starts going up. You can see by the windsock there is still Viagra in the sky. Gratje, dankjewel. Thank you so much. Also, thank you for tuning in and stick around if you don't have to be anywhere. Like I said before, another 747 and an A380 are expected within half an hour from now. Peter, also, thank you so much for your support. 7 months a member. Thanks for a great stream and great chat, he says. Thank you so much for your kind words and your continued support, Peter. Now, let me go back to the camera and switch it up again. We're going back for more arrivals, although also one airplane still going to the center runway, arriving from London City, funnily enough, which normally would have been an airplane to land on the Polderbound, unless Flight Radar is acting up and isn't showing its true location, which might also still be the case. Garuda Indonesia in the distance, established on the glide slope. Bob has to go. Early start to send wife to work, he says. Bob, thanks for joining again. Sleep well, enjoy the rest of your week, mate, and hope to see you again in the next one then. Ryanair flight 3006 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Will it get loud? And if it does, will there still be any spray left? Let's see. And here. Not a lot of spray, but the reversers definitely are applied. Perfect. Jeffrey tells us that the A380 has been confirmed for Polderbound. Thanks for the update, Jeffrey. That is good news. Hassan says Ryanair landing stelt nooit teleur. Landings from Ryanair never disappoint. You're goddamn right. Right. We have Garuda Indonesia in the background, flight 88. That is the retro livery coming in all the way from Jakarta. 15 hours and 8 minutes of flight time, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shizzle. It's the PK gig, and this gig is 10 years old. First flight August 2014. Garuda Indonesia in the retro livery. Being preceded by KLM flight 1710 arriving from Luxembourg. That's number 175. Roll coming in. Alright. Thought maybe by now my DJI mic battery was going low, but that's not the case yet, so no need to hook something up. The third airplane should be somewhere in the distance, yeah, at the 7 o'clock of the Garuda 777. Bottom left third of your screen. That's number 190 arriving from Darlington. That's probably a Britty hopper. This is Garuda Indonesia, flight 88 in the retro livery. Top end of digital zoom. That is why it looks pixelated. Going back to a bit more moderate zoom. But yeah, it is still windy. Despite having the image stabilizer enabled, you can see what is happening. Hey there, Kjell, groetjes. Good to see you again, mate. Olivier, goeiemorgen. Ja, morgen still. Had to look on the clock. This is Garuda Indonesia in the retro livery. 777-300 Embraer 190 arriving from Teesside or Darlington in the background. In the meantime, the KLM Embraer arriving from Luxembourg has landed safely. I'm keeping the camera focused on Garuda Indonesia, the 777-300 now 15 hours and 11 minutes underway from Jakarta in Indonesia. It's the PK GIG, not G.I. Joe, but GIG. 10 years old, first flight August 2014. And that is a looker. Retro liveries, usually most of them are. This one in particular looks very nice. Republik Indonesia is what it says on the tin. You will see in a moment once it passes us by. There it is, crabbing its way over. This is back in the spectrum of optical zoom. This camera can go up to 800 times digital zoom, although there's also a setting for maximally 400 times. I've got it set to that because more than that is overkill. 400 already is too much, but it is nice to sometimes use it a little bit. It's better when applied in moderate dosages. Garuda Indonesia touching down after well over 15 hours of flight. Nice to see that the mother-in-law compartment on this airplane isn't white but has a different color. I like that touch. That's the exception to the rule. Liberator 74, happy Monday to you too, mate. If you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live and this was the PK gig just now. The retro livery, Garuda Indonesia, returning from Jakarta. And if you joined us just now, you might have missed Quad Squad members already. We had the A340-600 in the beginning of the stream. Not long after that, the Kühne & Nagel 747-8 from Atlas Air. Singapore Airlines Cargo 747 already landed, and in 20 or so minutes from now we're expecting the Emirates A380 and following in its wake the Saudia 747-400. I think you're right, Gerrit. I agree, the Wi-Fi hums of KLM should be blue. Saudia also to Polderbaan, Jeffrey says, so check it out. They're all coming. We're catching them all, just like Pokemon. If you've been enjoying the stream so far and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. It really helps to promote this content to new people who haven't come across the channel yet, but who might also be interested in streams like these, like you guys are. Mascargo also third for arrival. We saw that... No, we didn't see it yesterday, did we? Or did we? Was that also MNG that we saw? We did see a cargo freighter with a double chin yesterday. Don't recall. Anyway, this is a Britty Hopper arriving from Teesside or Darlington, flying on behalf of KLM, Eastern Airways, flight 964 for KLM, touching down after 54 minutes of flight, 10-year-old airplane, first flight February 2014. Let's have a look in the cockpit, shall we? Hello there. And on the dash, as we see so many pilots do. X Aviation asks if I will still be around in 30 minutes. A relative arriving from an in an EasyJet flight. Which flight would that be? My plan was to stick around if more heavy hitters were coming in after the Saudia and the A380 have landed, otherwise to wrap it up, but flight 22515 from Luton is it airborne already? If it is, what's its ETA? I don't mind sticking around. It's going to land on Polderbaan. Should land on Polderbaan if all is well. Goedemorgen, Fanny, and all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and it is Quad Squad day once again. The entire Quad Squad will pass us by today. The A340-600 already landed. Two of three Queens already landed as well. 1747 and the A380 are still expected. If you tuned in only just now, you may have missed the retro livery Garuda Indonesia as well. Gerrit, indeed, the A380 is early today. Current ETA for the flight from Luton, 12:24. Sure, I'll stick around, no problem. Looks like it's going to stay dry. Hopefully, we'll also have some heavy hitters after the A380 and the 747 to keep us entertained. Looks a bit dark, more to the what is now the south-southeast. The wind is blowing from over there. We should still be good here in terms of staying dry. Next up, Mascargo arriving from Doha. A double-chinned A330-200, although the one yesterday was Turkish, if Marissa recalled correctly. I think you might be right. So another double-chinned A330 cargo is coming in. Mascargo, flight 6126, arriving from Doha. 8 hours on the way? What? That's a bit long for Doha to Amsterdam, isn't it? How on earth did it fly? Josegi is tuning in from Nairobi, Kenya once again. And Amaral Barin is saying goodbye. See you later if you have to go. Hope to see you again in the next one. The registration of the airplane we are now seeing is 9M Muahahaha. That's MUA. It's a 13-year-old airplane. First flight was in August 2011. Ah, it flew the Egypt route. Thanks, Floris. Hey, Jurk, Matzeit. Happy Monday, mate. Mates, you've missed quite the show today. A340-600 to begin with. Kuhne and Nagel, 7478. Singapore Airlines 747 already landed. And Saudia and the A380 are still expected. Also, just now, 5 or 10 minutes or so ago, Garuda Indonesia Retro livery. Absolutely beautiful. Jax asks, what is the point of the double chin? If I recall correctly, it is to make the level, the airplane level, the cargo floor. Regular A330s have a nose gear that is a bit low relatively to the main gear, which makes the airplane slant forward a little bit. The double chin is to raise the height of the nose gear so that the cargo floor becomes level again, which is more convenient if you don't want things to roll backward and forward. I thought that was the reason, but do correct me if I'm wrong. Nice combo shot with the Ford Ranger Raptor K3 in the meantime. What a combo shot. Hey, Study with Elaine, welcome! I don't know how YouTube brought me here, but it is amazing. Keep up the good work. Study with Elaine says, Elaine, it is so nice of you to say hi. Welcome to the channel. I hope that more people who are new to the channel will say hi. It's not mandatory by any means, but it is always appreciated. Thank you for your kind words, Elaine, and welcome. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Many people are watching, they're all friendly, many of them are knowledgeable. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Although Stranger's question, who wondered what AMS stood for, was eerily close to a stupid question, but I know he was making a joke. Now, there's a 777-300 arriving from Sao Paulo, flying west of me. I'm looking to the left to see if I can spot it already. If I know where I need to look, I should be able to see it. The thing is that I'm not seeing it yet. Oh, left hand is getting cold. Need to renew my battery in the heated glove. We have an Embraer 170 arriving from Humberside up first. That is a Britty hopper indeed. KLM does not have Embraer 170s in their fleet. Mid-V just in time, back for the King and Queen. Indeed you are. Welcome back, mate. You also missed you may have missed the Garuda Indonesia Retro 777-300 just now, arriving from Indonesia, Jakarta, 15 hours and a bit underway. I don't have a fixed schedule, Olivier. Normally my streaming days are Thursdays through Sundays, weather permitting. But since I wasn't able to stream before yesterday this week, I figured also looking on the weather app at the precipitation and the wind and the fact that we had the entire quad squad to come in, that I was going to do a sort of bonus stream today. Normally this would have been my day off, but since I wasn't able to stream earlier in the weekend before yesterday, figured this one I'm going to do. Normally speaking, it's Thursdays through Sundays, weather permitting. Now, weather did not permit a lot of streams in the last 2 months. I'm hoping for improvement because I feel like I let you guys down in that respect. Britty Hopper has arrived. Han's favorite is coming in next. Unfortunately, Han just now announced he had to go make sandwiches. Guess this is the exact right moment. Not everybody likes Vuelings. Some people get annoyed by the fact that there is a yellow dot on the tail, supposedly. Me personally, I like Vuelings a lot. Now, I like a lot too. There's always a lot to see at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, but not yet today. Milan is tuning in from Stafford in the UK. Good morning. And welcome to all others who have joined. We have 3 airplanes on the glide slope. The other 2 being Transavia, the trash airplane. That's one of their A321 Neos arriving from Barcelona. And an E2 Embraer 195. KLM arriving from Hamburg. Turning in is the 777-300 arriving from Sao Paulo, which we weren't able to see yet, or at least I wasn't. I'm thinking we ought to see it when we point the camera back to the north after this landing. Visibility top notch today, as you guys can see. Ample glide slope shots today. Yesterday too. Too bad that we haven't seen Jerry yet. Captain Jerry Donnelly, who did let me know in the comments below one of the recent streams that he was going back home again. Got released from the rehabilitations. That's very good news. Maybe he went on vacation or something. I think that's what I would do after having been in rehabilitation for a couple of months, inpatient. Either way, we have the 777 now in view at the 7 o'clock of the number 2. Transavia in the foreground on the right. That's the trash plane, the TRA-8H. It's always Transavia flight 5132 arriving from Barcelona. It is an A321 Neo. 1 hour and 44 minutes underway from Barcelona back to Schiphol. I think I'm also hearing something with propellers. Looking up, I am unable to see it. I am able to hear it. This airplane is brand new. It is the PHYHC. That's Yankee Hotel Charlie. First flight of this airplane was in December last year, so brand spanking new indeed. Hey Barbs, good to see you again. Looking forward for the ground crew t-shirts. Well, I think I'm able to launch the new merch products with the ground crew logo and AMS Live and ground crew logos later today. I've prepared them over the weekend, so expect an announcement in the community section, a public announcement not just for members but for everybody later today, when the merch store will be updated with ground crew merchandise. Planespot Carrington, back from lunch, just in time. Heavy hitters are still expected, and we're also expecting an EasyJet from Luton, which we are going to stick around for. Meanwhile, KLM flight 1754 arriving from Hamburg. The next airplane to land, it's an E2 Embraer 195, 48 minutes on the way. It's the PHNXV. That's November X-Ray Victor. The airplane a year old, hailing from the year 2024, month not being specified. Gerrit says, oh, is that dot yellow? I was thinking it was red or orange. I'm a bit colorblind, mate. I'm suffering from the same, maybe not to the same degree as you, but in my view it is yellow. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're not color vision deficient and that dot has a different color from Vueling, if it's not yellow, let me know. Gratje says I need a ground crew cap. I've got you covered, mate. I've got you covered. Got them in white logo and black logo. We've got combinations of logos, all to your heart's desire. Now also bear in mind you can always customize any merch in the merch store. You can replace where you want the logos to be located. If you opt for things that have two logos, you can decide where you want which logo. You can switch it up. You can change the size as well. There's a customize tool. You can do everything. You can add text, personalized text to items if you want to. 3 airplanes on the glide slope, a linear glide slope shot. In the foreground we have KLM flight 792 arriving from Sao Paulo. That's a 777-300ER. Flight time 10 hours and 50 minutes. The PHBVU, Bravo Victor uniform, 7 years old. First flight September 2017. E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Stockholm. Behind it KLM flight 1216. And a 737-800 from KLM. Arriving from London Heathrow behind it. Flap surfaces. Quick inspection. Squeaky clean as ever. Still windy conditions here. The next 2 airplanes are coming in. I want to see what the wind is doing in the METAR. Let's go to the computer, have a quick look. Also at the airplanes coming in. Oh snap, Emirates is already coming in. So we'll have to update the METAR later. How could I have missed it? It is already on the glide slope. A 4 airplane glide slope shot over here. Emirates flight 147 preceding the 747 from Saudia. For a moment it looked like their ETA was going to be simultaneous and we were going to see both of them maybe in one shot. Saudia is still on the extended base leg over Marker Meer and is expected several minutes after the Emirates A380. But look at this majestic glide slope shot. Going into the digital zoom range for you guys. You can see them drift. They're crabbing. Quick look at the landing, the E2 Embraer from KLM. Touching down. There you go. Hadi Marcel, goedemiddag. Just in time. Now, if you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live, the channel the Schiphol Group loves to hate. It's that good. We're standing here at the Polderbaan, which is used for arrivals today. If you're wondering what am I hearing, it is the lift that is slowly moving this way. Sound increasing. It's Quad Squad day. The entire Quad Squad is making an appearance in the show today. That is all the 4-engined airplanes visiting Schiphol on a regular basis. We started out with the A340-600. 3 Queens are inbound today, the third of which is flying over Marker Meer. The A380 is coming as well. Corendon A350 is flying downwind west of me, also coming. Bill J, also back in the chat, good to see you. Stefan K, good to see you. The Cat, wow, good afternoon. 3 airplane glide slope shot with the A380 as number 3. KLM flight 1004 arrived from London Heathrow. Next. And here's the A380. If you've been enjoying the show so far and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. It really helps to promote this content to new people who haven't come across the channel yet, but who would also be interested in streams like these, such as you guys are. Mario unfortunately has to go after the landing of the A380. After 6 weeks of holiday, it's back to work again tomorrow. So I say good night in advance. Maria, thank you so much for joining. I hope tomorrow will not be too tough on you after 6 weeks of holiday. I imagine it takes a little getting used to getting into the grind again of going to work. I'm sure you'll succeed. Hopefully it won't be too tough. Sleep well already from my end. EasyJet in the foreground, arriving from Belfast in Northern Ireland. A320, we're not going to see it land. I'm sticking with the A380, but for the perspective, it is nice to be a little bit zoomed out. Saudia 747. I think I have it. Where did I see it just now? A little bit further. There it is. Saudia Cargo 747, expected in mere minutes after the A380. It's nice that they aren't flying immediately back to back, in that we are able to see the rollout of the A380 without being on a hasty schedule. It looks like the A350 from Corendon is going to precede the 747. And thank you for the update, Eggs Aviation, whose relative is on U flight 22515, arriving from London Luton, ETA 10 minutes. Well, and like I said before, if there are more heavy hitters expected, I am going to stick around a bit longer. It is still relatively early, but usually things die down in terms of heavy hitters, wide-bodied airplanes after the A380. So I'm going based on the influx of traffic. For the time being, it seems that we are good for now. The A350 is also turning in. We ought to be able to see it at some point over there if the pipes aren't in the way, which they aren't. This is the Corendon A350 turning in. Following it is going to be the 747, which I'm hoping we might catch a glimpse of in the background, or is it still too far out? Might still be a bit too far out. Let's just focus on the king then. Emirates flight 147, we all know this one. A380, 6 hours and 37 minutes it has flown to get here. 9 years old. Let's look and listen. Still some spray left. Relieved to see that. Not the best lighting, but definitely not bad lighting. Indeed, Ashley, extremely butter. Sadly, an idle reverse landing like we saw yesterday, or heard I should say. But Her Majesty, His Majesty the King has landed. Her Majesty is expected in a couple of minutes. The cat says the A380 is nice, but the A350 is better. Well, you guys be the judge of that. We have one on the glide slope as it is. With Anadolu Jet Max 8 737 or A-Jet from Istanbul, sandwiched in between this one and the Corendon A350. Adri has to go. See you later, Adri. We're sticking around. A-Jet is the next airplane to land. After that, an A350, and after that, Saudia 747-400 freighter. The sounding of the horn is a van and an excavator that are passing over the cycling path. And there's a pedestrian that they are asking to move to the side. Right, indeed, Marissa. Next, A-Jet from A-Jet. It has landed already. There it is. Oh, no A-Jet, but Anadolu Jet. They've updated the livery, or at least it looked different on flight radar. What is up, Gary in Amsterdam? And Oscar says, I expect we will see takeoffs from runway 24 later this afternoon. I think you might be right. Also considering it is the preferred runway, one of the preferential runways. Now look at this, A350 with the 747 behind it. What a sight to behold. Gives me a moment to go back to the laptop and massively thank the cat who just now gifted 5 memberships. Hope that everybody who just received a membership from the cat will say thank you for it. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. You have access to the custom emojis for a month now. Use them whenever you see fit. Spamming is not allowed, but using custom emojis as often as you want is allowed. The cat, thank you so much for your generosity. You didn't have to do that, but you did it anyway. Thank you so much. Wow. A350 with a 747 behind it. Normally speaking, airplanes preceding Quad Squad members don't get a lot of love on AMS Live, but we make exceptions for pretty specimens such as the A350. Just look at the beautiful airplane. It looks like a predator bird. I think it's one of the prettiest airplanes out there right now, together with the A220. What a machine. Have to quickly go back. Don't want to miss Her Majesty the Queen, Queen number 3, and the last of the Quad Squad members of today's show. Not the end of the show yet. We are sticking around for Eggs Aviation's relative, who is flying in from London Luton on EasyJet and is expected pretty soon. Also, a massive big thank you to Jörg. He just now gifted 5 memberships. Jörg, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, you know that, but you did it anyway. I hope that people who received a membership from you will say Dankeschön or thank you. Jörg, thank you so much for your generosity and kindness. Welcome, Aurora Sky Lounge members. Don't forget to use those custom emojis. Hey, Guy, tuning in from Luxembourg. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Jonas Aviation says, damn, I think the A350 was very slow at touchdown. It did look like it was a slow motion sequence, didn't it? I thought it also looked very slow. Dapper Portugal is also coming, flying downwind. And the A320 Neo, arriving from Luton, is turning in now 3rd behind the Queen and 4th in total for arrival. Let's look and listen and see if Saudia will use the reversers, and if they do, if some spray. Hey, oh, oh, oh! What a surprise there! That's one for the books. What a tease. It almost looked like there was a little updraft or something. Don't know what happened there, but it was spectacular to see. And to hear. Is there still plenty of moisture on the runway? The answer is yes. What an epic landing that was. Wow. Indeed, Stacy, that's exactly what the crowd wanted. Indeed, Lisa, even Steven Seagal is excited. Holy shizzle. Landing of the stream, indeed, Marissa, you're absolutely right. I think that might even deserve a separate clip. Wow. Indeed, Jörg, late touchdown equals much reversers. That indeed looked like a near go-around, didn't it? And Emily just in time for this beauty of a landing. Wow, perfect timing then, Emily. Also, don't forget to check out the landings of all the other Quad Squad members today. We had the A340. This was the third of 3 queens. Bill asks if I can still hear a little bit. If you are going deaf already, the additional loss of hearing, you don't notice that much. I think that's the silver lining. We had the A340-600, we had the Emirates A380 and 3 747s today. Are there any more heavy hitters coming in? There's a 777-200 coming in from Guayaquil. Not too far away, so I'm going to stick around for that as well. Now, also, now number 3 on the glide slope is EasyJet flight 22515, arriving from London Luton. It's an A320 and Eggs Aviation has a relative on board. Or was it plural? Don't know if it was single or plural. So that's the first next airplane of interest. Jeff genuinely thought it was going to pull up. Me too, mate. I thought so too. Lance, good to see you, mate. Hope the scan will go well, mate. Definitely look back all the highlight landings of the Quad Squad members. We had the full Quad Squad here today. And an occasional wave from first officers too. Qatar entering Dutch airspace is going to center. Yeah, that is going to open as well around 1 o'clock. So at some point, airplanes from the east will no longer be going to the runway we are standing next to. Uffel 80, thank you so much. Dankeschön for your gifted membership. I see that Eric Ask was the recipient. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, Eric. Don't forget to say thank you to Uffel 80. Dankeschön, Uffel. And welcome our newest member. Alrighty. 3 airplanes on the glide slope, the first of which is a Transavia A321 Neo arriving from Tirana in Albania. That is 2 hours and 37 minutes on the way. It's the PHYHY Yankee Hotel Yankee, brand new, delivered in March. I think we may have seen the delivery flight of this one, though I don't recall which one we did see. Han also has to go. Thank you so much for joining, Han. You enjoy the rest of your week and hopefully see you again later in the week. Shoni says, Silkway coming in 2 hours. Yeah, saw it. Silkway West, beautiful livery, but unfortunately not going to stick around for it to arrive. We are sticking around for the 777-200 arrival from Guayaquil. Not sure if there are more heavy hitters approaching from the west or from the southwest after that. Let me also quickly check if my mic, DJI mic receiver, still has plenty of juice. Eggs Aviation, here it is. The airplane your relative or relatives is/are on. Didn't know if it was single or plural. EasyJet flight 22515, A320 Neo arriving from London Luton. Left 46 minutes ago from Luton. It's the Gus HZ. The airplane is 5 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in May 2019. EasyJet flight 22515. Still windy over here. Although probably not as much anymore as in the beginning of the stream. I had planned to look at the METAR But that was when I saw that the A380 was already on the glide slope. Maybe let's check the weather after this airplane has passed us by. Here they are, X Aviation. Your relatives have landed safely here in Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Now if only they were seated on the right hand side and had their phone with them and shown the light. That would have been awesome. Hey, you're welcome, X Aviation. Thanks for the early heads up. Now, also a big thank you to Tina, who just now gifted 5 memberships. And also a massive big thank you to Marissa, who just now did the same, gifting 5 memberships each. You really didn't have to do that, ladies. Thank you so much, both of you. And I hope that everyone who received a membership from you will thank you for it eventually. New members, welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Don't forget to say thank you to whoever gifted your membership. Don't forget to use the custom emojis that you have at your disposal for a month. If you like being a member, consider renewing it or gifting another person a membership. Jetstream Journeys asks if the A380 already landed. It did. Unfortunately, it has already landed and is no longer in sight. Jeff says, you might have missed it earlier. Can you have a word with the engineers to see if they can put a platform on top of L'Arc de Poupou? Yeah, so that I have a bit of overview. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I think I already know. I'm afraid I already know the answer. But you never know. If you don't ask, you never know. Howdy Matthew, goedemiddag, good morning, tuning in from Louisville. Peter van der Steen, goedemiddag. Now, let me have a look on Flight Radar and see what else is coming in. We also have a 777 arriving from Rio de Janeiro. Are they holding? Are they holding over Zeeland? Or does it only look like that? KLM Flight 706. Flying in the vicinity of Zeeland. Is it flying in a holding pattern together with the Air France? Looks like they are. Hey Mark, thank you for your kind words. Gerrit is signing off. Gerrit, thank you for joining, mate. Now there's a couple of 777-200s that are still approaching and will be headed for the Polderbaan. One of them is arriving from Guayaquil, the other arriving from Rio de Janeiro. I'm not sure if there are others underway. Doesn't look like it. More is underway, but still in the vicinity of Plymouth. I see Emirates and KLM. Maybe worth sticking around for a bit longer then. Still got some heavy hitters coming this way. Mark says Saudia definitely worth a separate clip. I think you're right. Indeed, Mark, quad reversers, that's the one thing that the A380 cannot match the 747 with. Howdy Gert-Jan, and hey there Barry. Hey, you're welcome, X Aviation, my pleasure. Once again, thanks for the early heads up. Happy to oblige. This is EasyJet now coming in from London Gatwick, flight 28679. Left Gatwick 43 minutes ago. And this is not Jesus, but Jizui. And Jizui is 13 years old. First flight was in May 2011. And I had plans of checking the METAR for a while now. Let's seize the moment and do so before it's too late. A lot is coming after this. For now, let's have a look. Quad squad members no longer coming in, but 777s are, so I'm sticking around for those. This is the meter that I had pasted in the ticker. It is old and outdated. Now, scattered clouds, 10 degrees, 16 knots of wind, and the wind is still firmly blowing from the south-southwest. Scattered clouds at 2,600 feet. The air temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, roughly 50 Fahrenheit for those of you who use Fahrenheit. Quickly pasting this into the ticker for you guys, and then I'm back to the camera controls to show you the lot coming in. Always a lot to see at Schiphol Airport. Next airplane is one. Alrighty, that's the ticker updated with the meter. Let's go back to the camera controls. Have a look. We have a lot. Max 8 737 in a special livery, Bank Pekao livery. I'm not sure if that is a regular bank or anything. Flight time from Warsaw, where this airplane is coming from, 1 hour and 49 minutes. It's lot flight 263. I don't think I've seen this livery in the streams before, so it's a premiere. The SPLVG, that's Lima Victor Golf. 5 years old. First flight October 2019. Bird control on the left. Keeping the airplane and runway area safe from flocks of birds as best they can. Once again, a lot to see at Schiphol Airport, and that landing was very polished. Bank Pekao. Paul is informing us that Bank Pekao is a bank from Poland. Thank you, Google. Right, let's quickly turn back. KLM flight 755 is next. It is a 777-200ER. The airplane is coming in from Guayaquil, and we all know where that is from. Flight time 10 hours and 14 minutes. It is the PHBQG. That's Bravo Quebec Golf. 20-year-old airplane, first flight April 2004. Alvin, what up, mate? You missed all the Quad Squad members landing if you joined us only just now. We also had the retro livery 777-300ER from Garuda Indonesia in the stream. Hope you've been well, mate. Mercer just came back in time for the Ecuador sound. Perfect timing. Nice to hear, Alvin. Recovered fully in the sense that I am back to normal. Without going into much details, it always takes a little time for the intestines to also normalize. I think you catch my drift, but feeling perfectly fine. Already did right after the procedure, actually. Really was quite doable, both the prep and everything itself. Let's see, we have an A320neo. It's another 4 airplane glide slope shot. A320neo arriving from Krakow, EasyJet as number 1. The now number 2 is KLM, flight 1088, arriving from Cardiff. Third airplane is Lufthansa A320neo, arriving from Munich, and the fourth is BA, arriving from London City, Embraer 190. So this is EasyJet, arriving from Krakow, 1 hour and 47 minutes on the way. It is an A320neo. The sun is out once again. The wind is still blowing, but not as violently anymore as it was in the beginning of the stream. 16 knots of wind from the south-southwest. Not a lot of crosswind, but you do see that the airplanes are still crabbing and the windmills in the background are still spinning. The airplane that you're seeing is brand new, meaning it is less than a year old, and flight radar tells me that the first flight of this airplane was in June last year. Daniel has to go. Break time is almost over. Thanks for joining, Daniel. Not sure if the mic is picking it up because I have it in the blimp and pointing away from where this ambulance is driving with sirens. Maybe you picked up a glimpse of it on the ambient mic. Jetstream Journey says Qatar on their way probably to the center runway. Hoping it's not the case, but you never know. Looking at the levels of the DJI mic, both the receiver and the transmitter seem to be still in order, so guess that the higher temperatures don't drain the battery as much as yesterday's cold temperatures did. KLM flight 1088 is now landing here. It is an Embraer 190 arriving from Cardiff, 56 minutes on the way. The PHEXE, 9 years old, first flight November 2015. Also, if you joined us just now or later than the landing of the Saudia cargo 747, you missed quite a spectacular landing. It looked for a moment like it was going to go around. Touched down very late, heavily applied the reversers, spray, sound, it was everything. All the boxes were ticked. Very likely going to make a separate video out of that one. Good to see you, Bertje, and Kevin, who is tuning in from Dublin. Welcome one and all. Now, for those of you joining later, the entire quad squad passed by today in today's show. That's all the quad engined airplanes that frequent Schiphol Airport. That's the A340-600. We had 747s, both the 400 and the 8. And we had the A380. They already landed, all of them. Garuda Indonesia in the Retro livery also landed. But definitely check them out if you missed them. Lufty in the meantime. And you can see that the wind is still blowing. According to the meter, a few knots less than earlier. 16 knots. But you can see that the pilots are still working today. Also, for those of you interested in the new ground crew logo, custom emoji, I am planning on launching the new merch with the ground crew logo incorporated in it and also combined with Amos Live later today. So stay tuned for that. I will make an announcement in the community section once everything is live. BA is coming in next from London City, flight 8489. Embraer 190 short range, 43 minutes on the way, 14-year-old airplane. First flight February 2010. EasyJet arriving from Newcastle behind it. And is Qatar still going to Polderbaan? Or was it already confirmed? Yeah, confirmed for center, Jeffrey says. Thought so. Probably the first to go to center. Dreamliner from Saudia also going there then. That's a pity. We can still see them from over here. Jetstream Journeys has to go. Thanks for joining, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully we'll see you again in the next one. The 777-200 KLM flight 706 arriving from Rio de Janeiro is flying on the downwind west of me. Looking to my left to see if I can spot it, but I don't. I'm not able to. That is probably going to be the last airplane for today, unless the Saudia and Qatar are later. Whichever lands latest, I'm going to stick around for. After that, I think I might wrap up, unless we have a surprise heavy hitter coming to the Polderbaan on short notice. Pyro team, goeiedag. Good to see you again, mate. Long time no see. Hope you've been well. Right, so EasyJet A319 arriving from Newcastle in the foreground. Vueling arriving from Valencia, A320neo, no, Alicante, number 2. EasyJet arriving from Person Chester, arriving as number 3. Air France is turning in, becoming number 4. That's an A320 as well. Qatar is flying base for the center runway. Looks like it is going to turn in pretty soon. Marissa also has to go. Marissa, see you later. Thank you so much for joining. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope to see you again soon. And they're shut again. Alrighty, the next airplane is from Vueling, arriving from Alicante. It's an A320neo. More airplanes already visible behind it. Flight of Vueling flight 1377 is lasting 2 hours and 19 minutes as we speak. 5 years old is the airplane. It began flying in March 2019. Good afternoon to Frank. Hope you've been well, mate. Spectacular landings you may have missed already if you joined only just now. We're in the last minutes. I think the Saudia Dreamliner is going to be last of the 3 heavies that are now turning in or have just turned in to land on the 2 runways that are now open for arrivals. Vueling A320neo, the sun beautifully illuminating the airplane. Let's have a look at the cockpit, if the wind will allow us to do so. Adi Gertjan, who is tuning in from Zwolle, goedemiddag. Marijn. I am not going to stick around, unfortunately, for the 777 inbound from San Jose. I am going to wrap up after what looks like Saudia is going to be the last of the triplet of heavies. I am going to wrap it up after that. Hey Klaartje, goeie. Is it still morning over in Belgium? Over here it is afternoon in the meantime. Good to see you again. Hope you've been well. Here we have EasyJet arriving from Persenchester, flight 22169. It's an A320, 57 minutes on the way. Crossed over the Gulf of Manchester. Persenchester, no, the Gulf of Yorkshire to get here from Persenchester. All these names, new names. 14-year-old airplane. First flight December 2010. The first airplane to the central runway, in the meantime passing in the background. That's KLM Embraer, a rare Embraer over here. Next up, Air France. Oui oui, omelette du fromage. Air Baguette. Flight 1640, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. 51 minutes underway. It's an A320. And it's the F Happy. Happy, happy, happy. If you're happy, happy, happy. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. That's the song. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight June 2017. After that, it is time for KLM flight 706. Arriving from Rio de Janeiro. That's a 777-200. And in the meantime, in the distance, Qatar is coming, flight 273, Qatar Airways 777-300 arriving from Doha, 6 hours and 19 minutes on the way. A7 BAU, BAU, 11 years old. Years old, first flight December 2013. And after this, we are going over to the KLM 777-200 arriving from Rio de Janeiro. And flying parallel to it, Saudia, flight 215 arriving from Jeddah. We can see that Qatar has landed safely on the center runway. Disengage telescope mode. KLM flight 706. Arriving from Rio de Janeiro, KLM Asia. And this is Latin Asia. It is coming from 10 hours and 35 minutes on the way. It is the 777-200 with the registration PHBQL. That's Bravo Quebec Lima. 18 years old, first flight February 2006. Penultimate airplane of the day, the last airplane of the day, flying parallel to this one, to the center runway, Saudia flight 215, arriving from Jeddah. And here we have the last airplane of the day. Saudia flight 215, arriving from Jeddah. It is a 787-10 Dreamliner. Infinity, goedemiddag, good to see ya. It's the Hazard 24, which I think we also saw yesterday. 5 hours and 59 minutes on the way from Jeddah in Saudi Arabia to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. The airplane is 5 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in September 2019. It is the last airplane of the day. I am going to go ahead and say a massive big thank you to all of you for joining me here today. I had a blast and I hope you guys did too. If you enjoyed the stream and you haven't already, consider leaving a like so that other people who haven't come across the channel yet might see the thumbnail of the content you're watching. A massive big thank you to all the support. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the super chats, super stickers, becoming a member yourself or gifting memberships. Mods, thank you so much for once again turning up here, making the stream a happy and accessible place to all. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you again later in the week. Weather permitting, I'm going out again on a Thursday. I'm not sure yet what the weather is going to be like. You never know well in advance, but fingers crossed. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. Also, stay tuned for the release, the launch of new merch later today. Everything with the ground crew emoji will be released later today. I will notify you via the community section of the website. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day and week, and hope to see you again later in the week. Bye for now.